Hi, I'm Chris Thorne. I'm 21 and I play War Machine. How did I get into tabletop gaming? Trying to remember now. I guess it would have started. I don't know if you've ever heard of White Dwarf magazine. That's Games Workshop's monthly magazine. So it was actually when I was in grade school. A buddy of mine brought one of the magazines to class, and I got a chance to look through it. And I originally started out playing the Lord of the Rings game, and then moved from there to Warhammer, and then from Warhammer to War Machine. So that's how I originally started.
What grade?
6, 5, somewhere around there.
How'd you hear about War Machine?
I actually heard about it on a podcast called Podhammer, which is a Warhammer podcast. I don't even know if it's around anymore, actually. But I heard about it through there. I did my own research and found out that it looked pretty appealing to me, so I decided to go with that instead of Warhammer.
What is your favorite aspect of playing these tabletop games?
My favorite aspect?
Yes.
I guess just some of the crazy shit that can happen in it. Well, it all depends on the player you're playing against. You can have the greatest match in the world or the shittiest match in the world depending on who you're playing against. If you and the guy are having a fun time of it, it doesn't matter if you're winning or losing. That's probably my favorite aspect.
Why did you get into War Machine?
Why?
Yes.
Because Games Workshop became too expensive. Warhammer.
Explain.
So about 2-3 years ago now, I've been playing Warhammer for several years, and they just kept price hike, and it came where $50 for a squad was way too expensive. Whereas War Machine, you can probably get a squad for around $25 to $30. So it was much cheaper, smaller scale too, so it required less.
Warhammer in terms of play mechanics.
Play mechanics, it's much more, Warhammer, Warhammer's changed they're into their 8th edition of Warhammer now.
Does this one compare to any of the previous editions?
No, not that I've seen. So Warhammer, much larger base models, so you're dealing with regiments, whereas in War Machine it's all individual. So each squad, you move each model individually, whereas in Warhammer it's by regiment. So you'll have a regiment of 30 or 40 guys, you move them all as one unit. So they move as one unit, they attack as one unit, whereas in War Machine, I can have a guy attack in one direction and another guy attacking the opposite direction, so long as they're within a certain command range. So long as they're within their squad leader's range, they can all do their own thing. So I can have one guy fight with an axe, the other guy shoot. Another big aspect would be, in Warhammer, the focus is all on the big monsters. So, for example, in Warhammer it'd be the Skaven, which is the army I played for Warhammer. You'd have these big giant rat monsters running around on the field. I was looking for more troop-based combat rather than having the big monsters run around. So I ended up playing War Machine instead of Warhammer because it seemed to focus more on the individual combat.